Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and I've got another battle for you. So this is another battle against Mr. Black Boy, and looking at his team, we've got some scary Pokemon. I've got some Pokemon I've been wanting to try out here, so we're going to just hop right into it. One of the Pokemon I'd like to try out in this battle is Salazzle. It's a Pokemon that I think is pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do is lead the Claydol, because most of his Pokemon don't really do much to Claydol, but the problem is here he led with the one Pokemon that can do a lot to Claydol. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my Stealth Rocks up. That way I can put a little bit of pressure on him. And unfortunately, we're going to take a nasty waterfall right off the bat. So I'm going to have to let Claydol go down here so early in the game. But I don't want to switch into anything to take that waterfall. So I'm going to just let it go down. So now I'm going to go into my Golisopod. This is my red card Golisopod. And with this, I could force the Floatzel out and then bring in something that will be a better matchup against it. So right off the bat, he's going to swap out his Floatzel and bring in the Umbreon. Unfortunately for my opponent, that was probably a mistake there because, yeah, that's going to do a lot of damage to the Umbreon, that first impression. It doesn't quite take out the Umbreon, but it's going to take it out after this Wish. So now the problem is the Umbreon has got a Wish up, but we're going to take it out right here. So now the Umbreon will be gone, and my Golisopod is still here. It still has the red card and the emergency exit. So now my opponent will bring in the Lycanroc. And I'm actually going to stay in and go for a liquidation. That way, if this Lycanroc sets up Stealth Rocks, it will go down to the liquidation. But instead, it's going to go ahead and go for the Stone Edge. And that will bring my Golisopod down into the red. Luckily for me, it's still alive, it's still here, and there's no Stealth Rocks on my side of the field, so that's nice. And that will force out the Lycanroc. The Landorus is going to intimidate, but that's not going to matter because now the Golisopod will use the emergency exit and get out, and I can bring in something that can better threaten this Landorus. I'm going to go into my Typhlosion and just go for an Eruption. I have the Choice Scarf. I will outspeed this Landorus, and most of the time, Eruption will do a lot of damage to Landorus if not taking it out. I get the crit here, but unfortunately for me, the Landorus has a Focus Sash. So unfortunately, Typhlosion will go down to this Earthquake. It came in just to go down to an Earthquake. That's very unfortunate, but it did a lot of damage to this thing, and that's really all I could have asked for. I don't want this thing getting Stealth Rocks, so I'm going to go into my Lucario here. This is a special attacking Lucario. It has Vacuum Wave, so I'm going to go ahead and use Vacuum Wave to finish off the Landorus. It's only got 1 HP left, so yeah, it's not living a Vacuum Wave. Even though it resists Vacuum Wave, it's not going to live that. So now my opponent's going to bring in the Dusknoir. And honestly, there's not much Lucario can do to Dusknoir. I could go for a Flash Cannon, and that's probably the best thing for my Lucario to do here. So I'm actually going to go for Nasty Plot first. That way my Flash Cannon will do more damage. I know Dusknoir is a very bulky Pokemon, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as my opponent actually has Brick Break on this thing. So yeah, I don't know if that was the best move there because this will be taken down with a Shadow Sneak. I should have probably just went ahead and Flash Cannon, but I was hoping to start sweeping with my Lucario. I did not expect this thing to have Brick Break, but no, I lose my Lucario there. And I'm going to go into my Gardevoir here. Gardevoir will take a lot from a Shadow Sneak, but I'm hoping it could at least live 1. And this Gardevoir is actually my Mega as well, so I'm going to go ahead, Mega Evolve. If he doesn't get a crit on Shadow Sneak, I should live it. So I'm going to go ahead, risk it, and here comes the Shadow Sneak. But I know Dusknoir does not have the best attack stat, so I'm going to go ahead, go for Hyper Voice, and that will not be enough. So now I'm going to lose my Gardevoir to the next Shadow Sneak, and that's very unfortunate because this is my Mega. I have lost my Mega Pokemon in this battle, and this thing is really bulky. I'm having a hard time taking it out. So now I'm going to go into Golisopod. I can go for a first impression, and hopefully that might take it out. I know this thing is very bulky, but I was actually hoping it would do a little bit more than that. But yeah, I'm going to go down to the Shadow Sneak. So now I am down to my last Pokemon, and I am not in a good position at all. So now, my last Pokemon is Salazzle. It's the one Pokemon I've been wanting to try out in this battle, so I'm hoping Salazzle can, I don't know, maybe turn this whole game around. Unfortunately, it's going to take some chip damage here with the Shadow Sneak, but I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, and that will be enough to take out the Dusknoir. So, I'm still not in the best position, and this Lycanroc will be kind of hard to take down, because I know Lycanroc has some sort of bulk, especially the midnight form. It's got a little bit more bulk than the daytime form. So I'm going to actually try Hidden Power Ground, hoping that that will take it out, but it's not going to be enough, and that's very unfortunate. So now this Lycanroc will go for Stone Edge, and that will finish off my Salazzle. So unfortunately, we're going to get a loss here, but that's okay. You learn from your mistakes, and I think the biggest mistake I made here was trying to go for that nasty plot with my Lucario. Keeping Lucario around a little bit longer would have probably been better, especially with that Lycanroc. Yeah, Lycanroc would not be able to do that much to my Lucario. So, if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the future.